Hi, this is Jim Craig, the budget conscious astronomer. I've been doing astrophotography for about 15 years now, and I like to compare images I took at the beginning to images I'm taking more recently. Part of the problem with that is I quite often will use telescopes of vastly different focal ratios, apertures, and I will also use different cameras, DSLR or dedicated astronomy camera, and then they can be rotated at different orientations. And I've found that if I want to do a really good comparison, I want to have them at the same orientation and uh, same rotation and same scale. So let's get into it. I'm using Gimp to do this. You can do this in Photoshop or other paint programs. I just like Gimp because, being budget conscious, I like to use open source software when I can. And Gimp is a very good open source paint program, image manipulation program. That's actually what IMP and Gimp stands for. It's the New Image Manipulation Program. And I find it very useful. It's cross-platform, which I really like. So if you're using Windows, Mac OS, or Linux, you'll be able to use everything I'm talking about here. And you don't have to use a new version of GIMP. This happens to be, I think, my version right in here happens to be 2 generations old. But you can use pretty much any version of it. The image you see here is actually the very first astrophoto I ever took of a deep sky object. And this is M27, the Dumbbell Nebula, and it was taken 13 years ago using a 16-inch f10 Cassegrain telescope that belongs to the astronomy club I'm a member of. And I connected my DSLR and I took one 30-second image. And of course, then I was thrilled to get anything. So I was delighted with this image. Now, more recently, using my own telescope, which is an 8-inch Schmidt Cassegrain telescope, I shot this from my backyard. The camera I used was a ZWO ASI 294 MC Pro, and I used a dual band filter. So this is in hydrogen alpha and oxygen and processed. And as you can see, it's a very different image. Now, if I want to compare these two images, I'm going to want to overlay one with the other, and it does require a little math. I have a calculator standing by here. You're going to want to write things down. Uh, you'll want to scale whichever image is larger to the smaller image, because when you shrink pixels down, they can look pretty good. If you take pixels and you blow them up, then it doesn't look quite so good. So what we're going to do is we're going to find, first of all, we're going to try to orient this in approximately the same orientation. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to go up to Edit, Copy, go back to this one, hit, actually, let's go back to our first image, something I didn't do first, is I always like to go Image, Encoding, 16-bit floating point. You want to do that so you have a large number of colors to use. Otherwise, you can see stair stepping when you start doing the rotation and the scaling, and it looks really awful. Uh, increasing the increasing the bit level in it really can help. I'm going to do the same thing with this image. Go Image, Encoding. You can see it. Actually, it's currently encoded as a 16-bit integer. I'm going to do 16-bit floating point. Just again, it makes it a little cleaner. So we're going to take this image, edit, copy, and now we're going to go up to edit, paste as single layer, and it's pasted over it. Now we can come down over here and you see the little eye. Those eyes will make the layer either visible or invisible. So what I want to do is I want to, first of all, try to get this oriented in approximately the same orientation. So we're going to make sure that that layer is selected. Come to our rotate tool up here. And we're going to rotate it to the right by 90 degrees. Rotate. So that should be approximately the same orientation. Now, in order to see the image behind without getting rid of that, we're going to, okay, yeah, they're approximately the same orientation. They're definitely not the same location. We're going to hide that one. We're going to see if we can find two stars in each that are visible in both images. And I think this one is the same as this one. And I think this one is the same star as this one. So we're going to come over here, and there's a measure tool. And if you come up here and you see a different one, if you see the color picker tool, right click to measure. And we're going to just stretch a line, click and drag from star to star. Now, using the plus key on your keypad, we're going to zoom in. We're going to try to drag this arrow around until it's as close to the middle of that star as possible. And using the minus key, zoom back out, come up here, and do the same. Use our scroll bars to get there. I messed up, so what we do is we're just going to, if I hit Control-Shift-J, it'll bring up the whole image again. Let's start that again. By the way, this tutorial is going to be a little bit warts and all. So we're going to do plus, 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 plus. And make sure that we can move that around and get that, again, as close to the center of that as possible. Use a minus to zoom out. And again, we're going to zoom in here. Try to get that as close to the middle as possible. Now you're going to see down here at the bottom, you've got a number, 580.5. And you're going to hear me pulling out a piece of paper, pencil, because I want to write that number down because I will not remember it. 580.5. Okay, hit Control-Shift-J to zoom back out again. Now we're going to go back to our newer image. We are going to bring that over there, that down there, and again, we're going to zoom in using the plus key. You can see that star is a lot sharper than the other ones. We're going to take it there, pretty close to the center of that. Oh, actually, no, I'm on the wrong star. Let's come up here. That's the star I want. Still a lot sharper than the other one, but it's got a nice spot right there in the middle. Come up here to this one. Again, using the plus arrow, you can zoom in as far as you want. Again, that's got a nice spot right in the middle. And you can see that's 535.3. So these are actually fairly close in size. So I'm going to go 535.3. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take the smaller number and divide that by the larger number. So let me get my calculator here. There it is. So get that paper. 535.3 divided by 580.5. And then just because I like working in percentages, I go times 100. So the larger image, or the smaller image, is 92.21% smaller than, or of the larger image. So what we're going to do, oops, I'll close that calculator. So we're going to go back to our original image, which seemed to be the larger one. We're going to come over here where we did rotate earlier. We're going to hit scale. Then under scale, you're going to hit percentage or percent. And you're going to type in that number, which I forgot what it was. So I got to bring up my calculator again. I told you it's going to be warts and all. Let's try that again. 535.3 divided by 580.5. times 100. This time I'm going to write it down. I did not do that last time, my mistake. 92.21. Then going back over here into Gimp, we're going to hit 92.21. Now, sometimes this number will change. You also want to make sure that these are locked so it scales on both the x-axis and the y direction equally. So hit enter. Yeah, you see it change it to 1/8. That's kind of close enough scale. Okay, so that we've got. Now, let's take our top image and we're going to, let's get rid of scale. We're going to move over here to this is our move tool. We can use it to move this around. We're going to take our opacity and make it 50%. Now we're going to line up. Let's see. Where was that star? We're going to actually, let's go back to 100%. Okay, that's the star we want. Hey, oh, for Pete's sake, I can't find it. All right, I'm going to, all right, that's where it was. I'm just not having any luck right now. I might have to start this whole thing over again. Okay, that star was that star. So let's make this big again. Is that right? No, we'll find out. If not, we can work with it. Okay, so we're going to set this back to 50%. And we're going to go up to colors, colors, linear invert. And now we're going to zoom in on that star to make sure that it is centered as much as possible. And that's actually pretty good. I mean, you can use, if you've got your move key selected, you can use your arrow keys to move it, but that's pretty good. So now let's zoom back out. And we're going to select rotate. You see this crosshair here. Let's drag this crosshair right up to those stars we aligned. Zoom in and put it as close to dead center as you can. Now we're going to zoom back out again. And we're going to just rotate this until the stars line up. And you can see they actually did a pretty good job. So hit rotate. I'm going to make this opaque again. Go back to colors, linear invert. Now what we're going to do is let's hide that. We're going to take the crop selection tool and we're going to crop these images so they're cropped to the same size. We'll go plus 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 to zoom in. Want that on there, and you see I've got that line there. So let's zoom back out, hit the enter key, and they're cropped to the same size. So you Control Shift J, we can see both of them. And there you go back and forth, and you can see the stars are aligned. And you can see a big difference between these two images. Now, if you want to do them side by side, it's actually pretty easy. First, we'll make sure the top layer is selected. Go up to Layers, hit Transparency, and if you see Add Alpha Channel lighter colored, it means you don't have an alpha channel transparency. This is fine because we don't need, or we already have an alpha channel. I'd like to make this background here black, so we're going to pick black. Okay. Now let's come up here and you see at the top, it says 589 by 704. So again, I'm going to use the calculator again because it's just easier. 589 times 2, 1178. So we want to come up to Image, Canvas Size, 1178, and Resize. Now, using our Move tool, let's click on that top layer, hold down Shift, and just start moving it over to the left. Until you start seeing that black line in the middle appear. Now we're going to zoom in on that. And now, not using the Shift with the arrow, just the arrow key. Come on over, bring them together. I'm going to hit Control-Shift-J to see the whole image. Going to change that. I'm going to do layers to image size. And there they are, side by side. And you can see 13 years of progress on the screen. Now to convert this into a single image, I'm going to hit Control-M to merge it. And if you want to make the canvas larger to add some text or something at the bottom, telling which dates or any information, you can do that as well, just by going up to Image, Canvas Size. Let's make it 1178 by 1178. Most people don't do square images like that. Actually, let's make that 900. Resize. Now you have an area down here where you can put in like M27, the date you took this one, the date you took that one, so that you can compare. So that's really all there is to it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. If you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Every subscription helps me and helps make me want to do more of these videos for you. Also, if there's any topic you'd like to see that I haven't covered that I might be able to help with, again, please leave a comment below. So once again, this is Jim Craig, the Budget Conscious Astronomer, hoping that you get out there, take some good images, and let me know where I can find them.